Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. Happy Monday, Gregory.
Happy Hawaiian Shirt Monday.
It is not a Hawaiian shirt. These are chrysanthemums.
I just want to say that so that you would say the word. You've fallen into my trap. You've fallen into my trap.
Chrysanthemums.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good.
Good.
Yeah. I got trapped into watching the Mavs games with a bunch of Mavs fans last night, which is not necessarily ideal for me. I was told it was like a Stars watch party, and I get there and everyone's in blue. Not happy.
It's time to play a new game
here
on Texas Football Today. The new game is called... Is this bad? Is this bad? So, this weekend, Saturday, was a big day for my family. It was Max's baptism.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know...
He's tight with baby Jesus.
For those who don't know, I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
Which is why I just feel bad about everything all the time. I just look sad. Catholic, and we got Hank baptized about 3 years ago. And now it's Max's turn to go to the dunk tank, and so the Catholic baptism is a big old ritual. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. We did have at one point, so Max's godparents are friends, Mary Kate and Marcus. I flew in from Chicago, and they're gonna be great godparents. And one of the things is that they give you a candle. You go over to the it's like the Easter candle, but there's another like fancy word for it. But it's a big old candle. Mm-hmm. You light it, and it's just supposed to be like, those things. So you get to take a candle home. That's nice. You get to take a candle home. And so Marcus is holding the candle, and it's still lit. And like, I think he saw somebody across the way, their candle blew out, and so he blew the candle out. And Mary Kate was like, I don't think you're supposed to blow it out. But luckily, MK, who's a cop in Chicago, so Max is all set.
Okay.
MK is a smoker. So she reaches in there, grabs her lighter. Still good? Still good. Anyway, we had a great time.
Amazing.
It was a lot of fun there. But that's not today's episode of Is This Bad? So there's a lot of different things that go into to being baptized. Max was wearing, one thing I think is cool, Max is wearing the gown that I was baptized in. Me and my brothers were baptized in. Mm-hmm. My dad was baptized in it. And I believe my cousins were baptized in it too, and my aunts and uncles. It is made from my grandmother's wedding dress.
How cool is that?
Pretty cool, right? Yeah,
wow.
So it's his great-grandmother's wedding dress.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's we don't have a ton of family heirlooms in the Tepper family, but that's one of them.
That's one of
it's
them.
Very cool. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, and so it all went great, except for one thing. There's a lot of different things that the priest does to the baby. You get the oil on your chest. Mm-hmm. There's like a whole exorcism thing. Of course, you get the dunk tank. Mm-hmm. You get baptized.
Did they actually put the baby underwater, or did they just spritz it?
No, they do the thing where he has like a little clamshell and he kind of pours it over.
Some people will.
There are other families who had they brought their own little clamshell, and it's like that was their family heirloom.
Oh,
you
gotcha.
Use that water
to
do it. It's very cool. And so, but the first thing that he does, the way that it all starts, he comes up to you, he says a little prayer on you, and gives a little cross on your forehead, right? Well, Max did great. Didn't cry at all. Everything's great. Father Edwin comes over, gives him the cross on the forehead. And 3 seconds later, Max spits up. And so here's my question to you. Ashley Pickle, is this bad? Is this bad that the first time the priest comes over to him and does anything holy to him, he's like,
well, here's my other thing. Did it get all over the family heirloom?
A little bit. Got over my wife a little bit more.
Knowing your wife, she is a lot happier that it got on her than your great-great-grandmother's wedding dress thing.
Whatever. Whatever. I was a little concerned. I was like, uh-oh. Is the Spirit of God doing some things to my kid?
Well,
what does that say about my kid?
Okay, it's one of two things. You can look at this glass half full or glass half empty. Half empty, he's going to be a problem child.
Demon baby.
He is demon baby. On the contrary, if you want to look at it as glass half full, that was him getting all his bad out, and he's going to be the sweetest kid in the entire world.
Very
so,
very
like,
Exorcist.
literally all the little demons came out right then and there, and you're never going to have to worry about him. Either that, or he was like, Holy Spirit.
I know.
Forget that guy.
A little concerned.
Jesus.
I know. A little concerned. I'll be honest. That happened. I was like, uh-oh. I don't know how kindly the church is going to they're
like, nope, throw this one away.
Nope, this one's
He's
gotta
not
go.
a part of this
This
anymore.
one's got to go across the street to the other church.
Yeah.
Here in the Catholic Church, we ain't gonna do that. We've got
We've
being
got
sad
tons
to
of
do.
these. Yeah.
We've got feeling bad about
Like,
things we've done to do.
They're like, oh, straight to the C team.
And
Like,
drinking.
we've got other options.
Yeah.
We don't need
We got beer
this
to drink
one.
too. Exactly.
So yeah,
Anyway.
I think this really just depends on how you want to look at it.
It really does.
And knowing you, I don't know what you're going to choose there.
I think not enough time has elapsed.
Okay.
Let's see what happens over the next week or so.
Okay, yeah.
if
If
his
he turns into a real little stinker within the next week, then I got bad news for you, buddy.
If his head starts turning around,
yeah,
you know,
you're going to
maybe-
wake up in the middle of the night and he's going to be like, sup, Dad?
Yeah, that would be tough. Anyway, hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the arid singer. Yes, yo! From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show about sports. My name's Greg Tupper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, or listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's our executive producer. She's the Duchess of the Dorks, and she is all floraled up. She's Ashley Pickle.
It's just a flower shirt. It's not a Hawaiian shirt, though.
I didn't say it was Hawaiian.
I know, but you have all day, and I'm just going to refute one more time, especially because Step was like, wait, is it Friday?
I was going to say, it's Hawaiian
Also,
shirt.
welcome back, Matthew. No, it's not Friday.
Yeah, we're recording in-person Tap and Step today.
Oh, he's coming in the office? Let's
He'll be
go!
here, I think he'll be here for the meeting. For the staff meeting.
Matthew.
How about that? Anyway, today is Monday, May 16th, 2022, 192 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Megan Fox. She's 36
nice.
today.
36?
36.
Wow.
Older than me.
Man, I hope I aged that well.
Older than me. Episode 1386. On today's show, folks, we've got headlines from across the state, including North Texas gets a quarterback solution, and there's other high school football news. Plus, Nick Saban said a funny thing. We're going to get into that. In the back half of the show, we've been doing Whataburger Super Team presentations, which gives us an opportunity to talk to some of the very best and brightest players from across the state of Texas. One of them, Carthage linebacker Kip Lewis, who was a man-child for the Carthage defense. We will hear from Carthage linebacker Kip Lewis coming up here at the back half of the program if you stay tuned with us. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Nick Morton, Rob Hadaway, Tony Blaylock, and Aaron Arbuckle with a yeet. Welcome, man.
Stop.
Yeet! Nope. This
Not
Monday
doing
needed
that.
a yeet.
Not doing that.
We needed a pick me up yeet.
I was texting with you and your significant other last night during the Mavericks game
because for some reason we're all in a group text and it's like the bane of my existence.
Because your significant other is also a Mavericks fan,
which is disgusting and a bad choice on my part. But
but we had a good time.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, he was having a great time.
You can keep doing the Scott Steiner thing. It's fine. Okie dokie. Let's get into some headlines from across the state. So it's May. It's mid-May.
It's gonna be May. This is revenge from putting me in that stinking group text. Like, just you two text. I don't need to be a part of this.
Mid-May, and yet there are there's major movement across the state of Texas in the college ranks and in the high school ranks. Of course, we talked, if you missed it, we already talked on Friday about the big news out of Allen that Chad Morris has stepped down after a single season. There's a great piece up on TexasFootball.com from Matt Stepp about why it didn't work for Chad Morris at Allen. I also would make the argument that I don't know that it didn't work. They didn't make the regional final.
Yeah.
But I think that the standard there is so high that
when you blow two different streaks, that
for sure,
that
for
hurts.
sure, it was always going to be championship or bust, or
Yeah.
at least play for a championship.
And they still would have been mad about the streaks.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we do have some other news and notes from across the state. Let's start with the news that came down late last week, and that is that North Texas might have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
And that is Grant Gunnell. Grant Gunnell is transferring from Memphis, and he is going to transfer to North Texas. He, of course, started at Arizona. Is that right?
Yeah, he started at Arizona, transferred to Memphis. Got beat out.
Took a redshirt year in 2021 because he got beat out by Seth Hennigan, Denton Ryan's own. And now he's going to transfer to North Texas. He has 3 years of eligibility left. This is a guy who is one of the most prolific passers in Texas high school football history. What he did at Houston St. Pius X was pretty remarkable. There's never been any issue about his arm talent. He just hasn't found the right fit. Now, I do think this is interesting because you may remember a few weeks ago we did a segment called "Hey, who's going to play quarterback in college football in Texas in 2022?"
Yeah.
And we talked about it in North Texas how it was kind of a battle royale. There were a bunch of different guys that it could be. They had the 2 incumbents in Austin Aune and Jace Reuter. They had 2 more guys who were brought in J.D. Head and a guy who I can't remember.
I can't even remember who the 4th person was.
Well, now here comes Gunnell. I'll be honest. That makes me think that Luttrell and the staff did not feel comfortable going in with any of those options.
That to me is we finished up spring ball and looked around the quarterback room and said,
Didn't love it.
Crap, we've got to find something.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
I think that they looked around the quarterback room and didn't like what they saw, at least going into the year, and they said, we got to get into the transfer market. And so for them to go and land Grant Gunnell is impressive. Now, look, this is a guy who when he started 3 times as a true freshman at Arizona, was pretty good, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. Overall in 8 games, but he had 3 starts. He was the starter in the pandemic-shortened 2020 season as well. Then he goes to Memphis and redshirts. I think you have to consider him, just based on the context of all of this, you have to consider him the front runner to be the quarterback for North Texas going into 2022. So
I would be mind blown.
I would be pretty shocked if he wasn't the guy. So North Texas quarterback Grant Gunnell is a thing as he transfers from Memphis. Speaking of quarterbacks transferring, we should probably close the loop on this. Remember Gary Bohannon?
He did that thing.
Gary Bohannon, of course, was the quarterback of the Big 12 champion Baylor Bears. Battled through injuries, battled through a little bit of inconsistency when the transfer portal, when it became pretty clear that he wasn't going to be. In fact, he got beat out for the job there by Blake Shapen there at Baylor. He's landed at South Florida. South Florida is where he has transferred, so congratulations to Gary. We certainly wish him the very best. Also, in the outgoing role, and this is something that I had to, and maybe this is off your radar. This was something that I was putting together the page this week for the magazine. It's 2022 Summer Edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football for the Southwest Junior College Football Conference, SWJCFC.
Let's go.
Okay, and I had emailed Tyler Junior College and requested a photo for their to run on the page. We didn't have any photos of Tyler Junior College. I wanted a photo of their quarterback, former Allen quarterback, General Booty. General Booty had been fantastic at Tyler Junior College, and had really kind of revitalized his career. So much so that he is now transferring to OU. Yeah. He's transferring to Oklahoma, and so thanks a lot. Now I got to redesign that page.
Darn you, General Booty.
Yeah, congratulations to General Booty, who is transferring from Tyler Junior College to Oklahoma. One thing to keep an eye on in the college football ranks, and we'll finish it all out with at the end after we do some high school stuff with a segment I call Nick Saban Said a Funny Thing. But
a lot of new segments today.
A lot of new segments. I'm all on one. This is the NCAA Oversight Committee got together, and we talked a little bit about this, about how they want to put together some NIL restrictions. They want to find out some things that they can do here. And one of the things that the NCAA Oversight Committee has recommended is the idea of removing the requirement for divisions in classifications in conferences rather with 12 or more teams. Right now, if you have 12 or more teams, you have to divide into divisions.
Yeah, you have an East and a West.
You have an East and a West, or a North and a South, or
you
have something, right? In Conference USA, for example, you have East and
West.
Yeah. SEC, they have East and West, right? Pac-12, they have North and South. Big Ten, they have Legends and Leaders. I always thought that was funny. They are looking into. They want to make it so that the provision would allow conferences to pit their top two teams from the regular season against each other in the conference championship game. Basically, one of the reasons they want to do this is what happened in the Big Ten. You may remember that the Big Ten championship game was Michigan versus Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan versus Iowa, even though pretty clearly the two best teams in the Big Ten last year were Michigan and Ohio State.
Yep.
But Michigan beat Ohio State to win their conference or win their division. Iowa won the West Division, I believe it was, and so as a result, they got to go to Detroit and play in the conference, the Big Ten championship game. I think that they want to avoid that. They want to find a way to avoid that, and so that would certainly shake things up.
Yeah.
Because I know that, for example, with now a 16-team SEC coming, I wonder if you're going to have quadrants.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're going to have, as our friend Bill Conley at ESPN calls it, pods. He always wanted to have pods of 4 and stuff. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but they have recommended that you're able to ditch the divisional setup in college football if you are so inclined. Some high school news from across the state. A lot of coaching changes closing the loop, so to speak, including, let me tell you right now, there are, according to TexasFootball.com, there are 23 open UIL 11-man jobs right now. 23, which is pretty big.
Lot for May 16th.
But yeah, there's gonna be some that we go to the magazine, go to Pressman Magazine, and say open. One of those that won't be open is Little Elm. Little Elm has created an opening elsewhere, and that's at North Garland, because they have hired Joe Castillo to be their next head coach there at North Garland, or rather at Little Elm. Joe Castillo is a Garland native. He's a graduate of North Garland, so he is leaving his alma mater. He spent the past 10 seasons there, and the record is not going to be particularly remarkable, but keep in mind, he took over a program there at North Garland that was not just the worst program in Garland ISD. They were the worst program in Garland ISD by a considerable margin. He helped take them to the playoffs. He helped do things that had been previously unheard of. He did back-to-back. In 2018-2019, they had back-to-back winning seasons for the first time since 1999 and 2000. Castillo is also, before that he was at San Antonio Burbank. He's the vice president of the Hispanic Texas High School Coaches Association. He's taking over at Little Elm to be their next head coach. Elsewhere in the high school ranks, Montgomery, one thing that you're going to see this late in the game is you're going to have a lot of internal promotions. John Bolfing announced his retirement after 17 seasons. They have promoted their offensive coordinator, Grant Cooper, to be the next head coach there.
Did his son... Was his son a senior this year?
He was.
Okay,
I believe
that
so.
makes sense.
Alvarado makes a splash hire. Alvarado has gone and created another opening at Cleburne. They have hired Casey Walraven to be the next head coach at Alvarado. Casey Walraven isn't an Alvarado alum, so he gets to go home and coach his alma mater, which is pretty special.
That's
for
like
him.
some crosstown rivalry right there too.
Yeah, it's not nothing.
That's a little bit of Sonny Dykes moving over to TCU.
But congratulations to Coach Walraven, who gets to go home and coach his alma mater. Pretty special there. Another one. This one kind of came out of nowhere. So James Polk was the head coach at Gainesville for 6 seasons. They went 8-3 in 2019, which was his best year. He's leaving to go join the staff at Weatherford. They have named the head coach in Killeen coach Neil Searcy. Neil Searcy is the head coach of the Killeen Kangaroos. Now he's going to be the head coach of the Gainesville Leopards. He is a GHS alum, so he gets to go home as well. But Neil Searcy is going to be the next head coach there at Gainesville. Giddings has promoted from within. Giddings has promoted their offensive coordinator, Mike Adams, to be the next head coach. Giddings promotes their offensive coordinator, Mike Adams. George Ranch does the same. They promote their offensive coordinator, Wade Oliphant. Wade Oliphant has a history. He is a Lamarck, I'm sorry. Is that right? No, I've got that wrong. Lamarck has hired George Ranch offensive coordinator Wade Oliphant, who is he is a Lamarck grad, so he gets to go home as well, but he was the George Ranch offensive coordinator. Lamarck has hired Wade Oliphant to replace Sean Evans, who you remember was hired to be the next head coach at Texas City. There's this whole thing of Texas City and Lamarck are anyway, it's a whole thing. Elsewhere, remember the Childress thing? Mm-hmm. Where Jason Sims kind of got a raw deal in our editorial opinion.
Yeah, humble opinion. He got a wrongful boot.
They promoted their defensive coordinator, Bo Helm, to be the next head coach there at Childress. Bo Helm, the next head coach there at Childress. Corsicana Mildred has made a hire. They have promoted their defensive coordinator, Jeff Callahan, to replace Duke Dalton, who moved into a new role there at Mildred ISD. And finally, Pattonville Prairieland, has made a hire. The Patriots. Heath Blaylock is out after 2 seasons to join the staff over at Gilmer Harmony. They have hired Herb Smith, the Paris offensive coordinator, to be the next head coach there at Prairieland. Those are some high school coaching news and notes. We are going to be recording a new episode of Tep and Step today, so that should be in your feed tonight as soon as I get done editing it. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. We'll talk about that.
I like the name Herb.
And finally, Pickle, it's time for a segment I like to call...
Nick
Saban said something funny. So Nick Saban, perhaps you're aware, is the head coach of the Alabama
Oh,
Crimson
that
Tide.
guy.
Yes. This is Nick Saban was on the Paul Feinbaum show. Mm-hmm. Our friend Paul. I've been on Paul's show a couple times.
Yeah.
The headline: Alabama Saban calls for more parity in football. The Crimson Tide's Nick Saban tells the Paul Feinbaum show that he'd like to see a return to the days of a more level playing field in college football.
Coach, I wonder who's setting that narrative.
Wonder whose fault that is. So there you go. Nick Saban said something funny. He wants more parity. Yeah. You know what?
That would be like us saying something about there should be less bits in podcasts.
You know
like,
what?
There's the equivalent.
I think every internet show needs to be very serious.
Yes.
Like, we need to take it very seriously.
Bits.
I think well prepared.
Yes.
Otherwise, very disappointing.
Yeah, it would be terrible. Could you imagine a world?
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Anyway.
It feels like a sin.
Thanks for the laugh, Coach Saban. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Please consider becoming a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Get the 2022 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football mailed to you before it hits newsstands if you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Makes a great gift as well. Get it for my kid's baptism.
Yeah. That'll help him not be a little demon boy after he's spit up.
Guess we'll find out. Pickle, did you know that 35% of college athletes quit their sport or transfer schools by the end of their sophomore season? That's because most high school athletes only consider athletics when picking a college. They skip over the other important factors like college major, location, scholarships, and long-term goals. With so much to consider, how do you make sure you're choosing the right school? That's where Athletes to Athletes comes in. Athletes to Athletes is a college counseling program built specifically for student-athletes and their families. They provide a holistic approach to help you find the college program that best fits all of your needs, both on and off the field. Go to athletesToAthletes.com/DC today to schedule your free info session and see how they can help you find the best college program for you. That's athletesToAthletes.com/DC for our friends at Athletes to Athletes. Oh, look, we also have a QR code up there. So you can just scan the QR code.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to
so
QR
easy.
codes.
Dude, you want to talk about a fantastic invention.
What about a comeback?
Yeah. See, and that's funny. We've had this conversation before, but I don't remember the original
Oh, I do.
go about of QR codes.
This is true. If you go look in like I want to say 2013.
Oh yeah, we looked.
2013 Summer Edition Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we put QR codes in it.
Yeah.
And then we realized, like, we looked to see how many people scanned them. And remember, like, we have a readership of, like, hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And we looked to see how many people scanned the QR codes, and it was, like, 110.
Yeah.
Like, nobody did. But now, if we were to do it, so who knows? Maybe next year we'll just have QR codes in it.
Yeah. Maybe the whole magazine will be QR codes.
Just QR codes.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Talk about an easy page design for us.
Pickle, it's Whataburger Super Team season, which is an opportunity for us to chat with some of the very best and brightest high school football players. Basically, we give them an award, and we hold it hostage and make them talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it. But we did talk with Carthage linebacker Kip Lewis, a member of the 2021 Whataburger Super Team. Here's our conversation with Carthage linebacker Kip Lewis here on Texas Football Today.
Whataburger and Dave Campbell's Texas Football are proud to honor the best and brightest stars of Texas high school football with the announcement of the 2021 Whataburger Super Team. Texas high school football fans from across the state nominated more than 5,000 players, resulting in more than 300,000 ballots on TexasFootball.com. Of all those, only 40 outstanding athletes rose to the top to be named with the Whataburger Super Team Award. Joining us for this special presentation is 2021 Whataburger Super Team Award recipient from Carthage High School, Kip Lewis, and head coach of the Carthage Bulldogs, Coach Scott Surratt. Kip, when you heard that you were named to the 2021 Whataburger Super Team, what was your initial reaction, and what did it mean to you to have the entire Bulldogs community rally the vote to get you there?
I was really grateful about hearing it, and really grateful that the whole community picked me to be a part of it and have as many ballots picked for my community. I thought that was really awesome, really special about like how they got my back. So I really, really thankful for that.
And Coach Surratt, what was it like to coach Kip? How special was it for you to see him claim a spot on this year's Whataburger Super Team?
It was great. First of all, he deserves every award he received. He's such a great player. Not only a great player, he's a great young man on and off the field, and that's the special ones. And when you have that combination and get to coach those guys, it's very special. So he's very deserving of the award.
Kip, as you kind of look back, I know you're at college already, but as you look back at your high school career, what will be your favorite memory, and what's something that you'll miss playing for the Bulldogs?
I'll say my favorite memory was when we went to state my junior year, right after like my ACL injury. I thought that was like pretty cool because I made a goal out that year that I was like gonna be back and being impactful for that game, and that was like one of my like big moments in my high school career. And then just high school football, just like being able to play with your friends and your buddies would be like different. Like the ones that you come up with like when you were younger, I think that would be like different. That I probably missed the most.
And Coach Surratt, anytime that we get to be here and celebrate, one of your student athletes there from Carthage High School, it's a big deal. What type of legacy does Kip leave behind, and what type of example does he set by winning an award like this for students that hope to aspire and be on the super team ballot just like Kip was?
Well, example he sets for young people and the guys that watched him growing up, the kindergartners and stuff, and him going over and reading to them and things. He's just a special young man. But the legacy that he leaves here is great player, energized, bunny, played the game right, just energy, physical. I mean, just that's the legacy he'll leave, just as a great player.
That's awesome. And Kip, the Whataburger Super Team recognizes the best and brightest stars across the state of Texas, and you certainly have a bright future ahead of you playing at Oklahoma for the Sooners. Why OU, and what are you looking forward to most about the upcoming season?
OU, just like there's like family up there, so just like my second family, other than Carthage. So they really like make you feel like home up there and like give you a home. And I think it's gonna be really good this season. I'm just really looking forward to get like some college experience in this upcoming season. Whether if it's little, no matter what, I'm just like trying to get some experience this upcoming season.
And Whataburger has been the longtime supporting partner of the Whataburger Super Team. And Coach Surratt, you've had quite a few players that have been named to this Super Team. What does it mean to you to have partners like Whataburger who are involved in supporting local Texas high school football programs and recognizing bright young student athletes like Kip across the state of Texas?
Yeah, Whataburger's the best. Well, not only have the best burgers, and we eat there all the time, but they're the best. I mean, you make the Whataburger Super Team, you know you're a really good player. There's no faking that, and a special athlete, and we're just thankful to Whataburger for doing this.
And Kip, while we're talking about Whataburger, I gotta ask you, what's your go-to order when you're at Whataburger?
Oh man, I go there like back then whenever I was in high school. I used to go at Whataburger every day, and I would get a sweet and spicy bacon burger every day. I probably would put on a couple pounds for me. Put on a couple pounds for me. Get two of those, maybe, you'll be set. Don't worry.
I love it. Coach Surratt, what about you? When you're going to Whataburger, what's your go-to?
Yeah, mine's the number one with cheese all the way. That's about 3 times a week.
I love it. Those are two strong orders. I know where we might be headed here after this call. Kip, I'm going to give you the final words. Do you have any final words for the team at Whataburger?
Oh yeah, just grateful to be put on the team and being recognized, and I really thankful.
Well, from the folks here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Kip, we wish you the best of luck next year at OU, and congratulations again on being named to the 2021 Whataburger Super Team. And as always, Coach Surratt, it's great catching up with you, and thank you for carving out the time.
Their honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich is also excellent.
So good.
Their honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich is
That's
excellent.
my favorite.
I will say the standard Whataburger is very good, but you got to trick it up right. You got to make sure it's like you got to do it. You got to do you. Mm-hmm. You got to do you. If you go get a good just a Whataburger with cheese, it's like it's good. Yeah, it's good, but you're missing out. Mm-hmm. You got to make sure. You got to make sure you dust that bad boy off.
Here's the other thing that has made a world of difference on, the patty melt and the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich both come on Texas toast. Mm-hmm. There are other specialty sandwiches like the Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich.
I haven't had that yet.
Oh, it's so good. But that's the key. Do not get it. It comes on a bun. Don't get it on the bun. You have to transition it. Any of the specialty sandwiches, I transition to Texas toast if they don't already come on it, and I'm telling you, that is the game changer. Because the Buffalo Ranch.
I don't understand how you don't weigh 600 pounds.
I don't either. I genuinely think about that sometimes. Of I don't know. My metabolism is like Usain Bolt, literally.
It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. Of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Kip Lewis at Carthage for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.